But my grandmother, she would pick me up from school on Friday nights, and then take me away for the weekend and drop me off Sunday night or Monday morning for school, and help me get away. And we would go out to eat usually Saturday. It's all she could afford. We'd go someplace for lunch on Saturday. And there was a server at a restaurant that we went to that we liked. She was there all the time. And it was like her first job. I want to say she was 17 or 18. And she she was having a really bad day. And I just started doing calligraphy when I was 9. I started taking pens with me on the weekends, and I would do names of servers on napkins with the pens I had, and I would put their tip inside and I would leave them there. And this server was having a really awful day, and I made her name on the napkin, and she was super grateful. She came over, gave my grandmother and I a big hug, and she goes, "I love waiting on you guys. Come whenever you want, and let me know, and I'll please come in my section." She was just a sweetheart, and her name was Danielle, and she was just a person, just a nice person. And of course, it was one of her first jobs. So she eventually moved on, and I have never seen her since. But my grandmother was in the hospital about maybe 2 years before she passed, and I couldn't make it up there every day. I tried to every day, but usually, sometimes I'd come at night when she was sleeping and just kind of like sit with her. But on the whiteboard in the hospital that tells you the name of the nurse, what your room number is, what the date is, whenever I went in there and she was sleeping, I would write the name out of the nurse. I would basically wipe it all down and recreate it just so she could see the calligraphy, because she used to love it. She championed me doing that stuff. She is the reason you guys get to enjoy me here. She pushed it. And she, so I wrote the name of the nurse out that was that day, and I didn't think anything of it. And I didn't see her, but my grandmother told me this part of the story after the fact, that when I was gone, after I'd done that one time, um, the nurse came in and said, "Wow, who did the whiteboard?" And my grandmother said, "Oh, my grandson. He's been doing that since he was really young, and he used to do it for people when we went out to dinner." And she went, "Oh my God." My grandmother says, "What?" And she ran out of the room and came back, and this nurse, I wish I was there for this. This nurse pulled out of her purse the lamination of the napkin I made for her almost 30 years before that. She became a nurse. And she said, "You have no idea how hard of a day I was having that day. And when you and your grandson came in and made this for me," she was thinking suicidal thoughts and how she hated her life. And my grandmother, she gave my grandmother told me, she gave her a big hug, and she goes, "I cannot believe I got to see you again." And she goes, "Let me make sure to take care of it and tell your grandson I said hello." And it was just, and of course, you hear this stuff, and this is my whole point, friends, is that you have no idea how far reaching of an influence whatever good you do for people has. You just don't know. You never know. And you don't want to know, because you want to be surprised and smile about it 30 years later when you hear stuff like this. And this is the kind of stuff that happens to me all the time. I get to see this all the time. And it just propels me to want to do more things for people. It's not being selfless. It's not giving till it hurts. It's not, don't unprioritize yourself or your families or your friends. But total strangers have been some of the people I've had some of the most powerful conversations with in my life. One time, single serving friends, right? People you meet on a plane, and you're never going to see them again most of the time. And when you have those conversations, those people, those complete strangers, people who have no reason to lie to you, nothing to gain, you get some real honesty from people who don't know you. And life-changing conversations happen from people who are there one time. And if you let yourself stop, or at least slow down long enough to pay attention to those people, it's not too different from Twitch. You have no idea when somebody's going to say something in chat that just resonates with you. Can't tell you how many times that happens to me with other creatives in stream, or people when I hear an original song. I was listening to Steggy one night, and some of the lyrics in his song that he sang, and he said, and I quote, "I didn't give any thought to the lyrics. I just thought the words were cool." And yet, him not realizing that those cool words in his brain works out to be something that somebody wants to write down and holds on to for the rest of their lives. Friends, you have no idea how powerful you can be in people's lives.